Hi guys, Stingy Prepper here. In case you have missed it, a few weeks ago I published a video of my first overnighter alone into the woods of Bulgaria here in Eastern Europe. And today what I wanted to do is to share with you the 5 things I learned from this experience. The idea of this video is basically to compare the theory and my expectations with what actually happened into the field during this overnighter. And hopefully this will help some of you who are actually getting ready to spend their first night alone into the woods. So let's get to it. So the idea of this overnighter for me was to test my skills on the fields and simply getting used to go wild camping and stay outdoors for a certain period of time. So to do that, I basically drove for 2 hours away from where I'm living here in the suburban area of the capital city of Bulgaria. And I took a hiking trail that I already knew. And I've been walking for about 2 hours before deciding myself on a specific camping spot. And it was already quite late in the day when I came up with this camping spot. So the first thing I learned from this overnighter is that I should have left home way early in the morning, in order to have plenty of time to have a nice hike and discover a great camping spot before dark. So my first recommendation would be leave early and choose your camping spot at least 3 hours before dark, because obviously you are gonna need to do a lot of things in your camping spot, especially if it's the first time you go there. So that's really an important point. Now, personally, I was really happy with my camping spot. So I was lucky to find a good spot, even though I arrived here at 6 p.m. So basically 2 hours before dark. My first focus when I chose my camping spot this time was to be protected from the wind. It was my objective number 1 because I knew it was not gonna rain during this weekend. And obviously I was looking for a flat space that was kind of spacious. I wanted my camping spot to be out of sight, but also directly by the hiking trail because I was alone and it was my first experience. So it's important to be able to go back easily to the civilization. And obviously I also found a camping spot close to a water source because this was my choice not to take liters and liters and of water with me. And finally I found a nice spot with a natural back wall made basically of fallen trees, as you can see on the video. However, the truth is that I had very little time to establish camp, which was a mistake on my part, because I wanted to do a bit of bushcraft there, like build a wooden structure, at least for the base of my shelter, so that I would feel safer and so on. And I really did not have the time to do that, as you can see in the video. So luckily I had this ultralight shelter system with me, and it was easy to deploy, and that was enough to spend a comfortable night. But I was not as prepared as I wished for the night because I was simply lacking time to get a strong base for my shelter. So very important, guys, I repeat, leave early to find your camping spot if it's the first time you go in this area, so that you have plenty of time to achieve what you want to achieve on the wild spot where you are about to go camping. Now, the second thing I learned from this overnighter is the importance of water. And of course, this is nothing new, but the truth is basically water is gonna be on your mind for the first time in your life. And for this reason, if you have to put on extra weight, I would say feel free to carry extra water for the first time you go into the field. Of course, it depends, because you can have with you a water filter, which is, I would say, an ideal solution, so that you can just take a moderate amount of water with you, and you know that on top of this, you can filter all the water you need thanks to your water filter. However, don't forget that you have this water filter with you, like I did, because I had it with me and simply the first day I forgot about it. So I was starting to stress out about my water reserves and so on. So get the water filter, get used to to use it into the field, and simply don't forget about it so that you have peace of mind regarding water. Also, what I would recommend is definitely to take with you a large water container with a large mouth so that you can collect water from the stream or the river you want to stay next to. Because, for example, in my case, I had just normal water bottles and this water bladder from my soya filter. And to be honest, this water bladder from soya really sucks when it comes to filling it up from a stream or a river, because it's simply a normal lid. And yeah, bring a large mouth water container with you. And also something that I was missing regarding water and drinks is tea bags. I forgot to take tea bags, and it would have definitely been cool. So please take this with you, or learn the plants around your area in order to make natural tea. So that's also a goal of mine. And finally, don't forget to hydrate yourself more than usual. And it's actually something I was forgetting about. I was like into the moment, kind of rushing to get my camp ready before dark, and I was not really hydrating well. And I could feel that I started to have a headache and so on. So I finally stopped, took a break, and drank a lot of water. So stay hydrated. You are gonna do more physical effort than usual. So always keep water in mind. Find ways to be relaxed about it, having a filter with you and so on, but keep it in mind to hydrate yourself regularly. Now, the third thing I learned from this overnighter is that cold is real out there. And basically, for the first time in your life, you are going to get cold. So the same way as with water, for the first time in your life, cold is gonna be in your mind. Low temperatures are gonna be on your mind. So, of course, in that case, fire is gonna be your new best friend. But the truth is, you should not count on it for the whole night, because, of course, it takes a lot of time and effort to feed a fire all night long. And basically, at some point, you have to make a choice. Should I feed my fire all night, or should I try to sleep? But you simply cannot do both at the same time. So, my first recommendation would be spend a good amount of time on your fire pit so that it's safe and it gives you peace of mind for later. Because yes, you will worry about putting the forest on fire, and maybe you should, but what it should not do is prevent you to have a good time in the woods. So focus on your fire pit, and also don't forget to build it close enough to your shelter so that it's actually keeping you warm. Personally, I found that the best distance for me would have been 1 meter away from my ultralight shelter system. Obviously, be careful, depends on the material of your shelter and so on. But I would say put it as close as possible to your shelter, as long as it stays safe. And also pile up all the wood you can at arm reach of your sitting spot, because you are gonna feed this fire a lot, and ideally you want to do it while you stay seated, so put the pile next to you. And finally, like I said in the introduction of this point, the truth is there is no way you can both sleep and keep a fire going at the same time. So it is a fact, when the fire is gone and it's gonna get away when you try to sleep, you are gonna get cold, much colder than before, and eventually you are gonna get scared. But that's just how it is, and that's part of the thing we have to learn when we go outdoors, I guess. Now, the fourth thing I learned from this first overnighter is the importance of my clothes and my sleeping bag. Now, this is not totally new to me, because I'm used to go hiking a lot during the year, during any seasons of the year. But basically, remember that your clothes and your sleeping bag are your portable shelter, and they are going to be the best protection you can get against the cold once you try to fall asleep. So obviously, to make sure you have the right outfit with you outdoor, please check the weather forecast in advance, and it will help you to get the right gear to stay warm at night, also without your fire. Other than this, other than your outfit, there are 4 priorities I would focus on. The first one is your sleeping bag. Very, very important. Second one would be your night clothes, like pajamas basically. And also the third one would be the accessories for your extremities, so hat, gloves, and a pair of socks for the night. Very, very important to stay warm. And finally, I would also recommend a way to make a hot water bottle. It's gonna be very efficient to slip one into your sleeping bag just before you fall asleep. And yeah, never forget how much the temperatures can drop at night. In my case, it was 4 degrees at night, even though it was more than 20 degrees during the day. So stay focused when you choose your outfit, your sleeping bag, and so on. Very, very important to feel at ease when it comes to the temperature outside. And finally, the last thing I learned from this overnighter is that my shelter is key to make me feel safe and to get some sleep at night. And what I found out basically is that without an axe and a maul, it is very difficult to achieve what you want to achieve in just 1 hour of time regarding the construction of a shelter. So in my case, again, my mistake, I had basically only 1 hour of time, and without those tools, it was simply impossible to build a good shelter. Also, the truth is I had very little energy left after hiking for more than 2 hours, which basically made it impossible to build any natural type of shelter structure. And I would say that's why it is so important, again, to have at least 3 hours before dark to save before you build your shelter, and also to save some energy for after your hike. So that's it for today, guys. I really hope these 5 learnings I just shared with you guys are going to help someone somewhere to make their first overnighter successful. Now, in my next video, I'm going to share with you the content of my camping bag, which is basically all I took with me for this last hike and this first overnighter. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you are one of my early subscribers, as usual, I really want to thank you guys for your support, and I see you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Stingy Prepper out.